It's Marissa, Music Academy Success. We're going to talk about adding students and talk about the Excel upload form today. Just one of the things that you first worked on. I know it's not the first thing you do in the portal because, again, remember, add teachers first. If you don't add teachers first, when you upload or create students, it will not tag to a teacher because there aren't any teachers in your portal. So remember, add your teachers first. So it's pretty simple to add students once your Excel form is ready. So this is your dashboard. You have add multiple students or add a single student. When you're first setting up your school, or if you're having to create students in large batches, the Excel form is the easiest way to go. Then as you're kind of maintaining it, adding students as they register is the next step. So let's talk about this. This is the Excel spreadsheet, which I know you all have seen. Now, some of you have asked questions as well, why can't we just use our own Excel spreadsheet? Again, keep in mind, this is a computer. It's not a human. It cannot reason that if you have categories out of the way, it will look for certain ones. It's looking for a particular order of them. It's going to count Excel row numbers, cell numbers, trying to find the information. It won't recognize Johnny Guitarsmith as the same as John Guitarsmith. It's just a computer. It's looking to match characters. It's looking to match letters. It's all the data. Okay, so this is the Excel spreadsheet that Stephanie sent out. You'll have the categories, what it's going to look for. You have the student information that's required. You need a student's first name. You need a student's last name. If they are an adult student like Bob Engineer, it's going to have his or her email address here. Obviously, your little 6-year-old piano students are not going to have their own email address, and that's in the parents section. You're going to have your teachers. Again, however you put your teachers into the portal already is how you should have them listed here. Otherwise, the computer won't be able to recognize that that's who they are. You're going to have whatever instrument they take. If they're on a level for the musical ladder. If they're not, if they just started, leave it blank. If it's Rockstar, Rockstar, Songbird, Songbird, put it all in there. Okay. Actually, I want to go back to instruments. For these, you don't have to differentiate between electric guitar, acoustic guitar, just plain put guitar. If you go to the musical ladder software user guide, it'll show out the different categories of instruments that it will recognize. I know everyone has a myriad of Mommy and Me preschool music fun classes. For those, since there's so many different names, we're trying to find universal, find the one that works best for it. Because again, these are really for testing and communication purposes. So it doesn't have to be completely exact all the time for just the classification of that type of lesson. So you have voice. So for singing, you would put voice. Ukulele, put ukulele. It won't recognize uke. Make sure any typos, make sure it's spelled correctly because it won't recognize typos. All right, if they take two instruments, so let's just pretend that Sean also takes drums with Jason drum teacher, and that'll be drums. And let's just say he's prodigy on drums. Great. All right, so your underage and your youth students will have parents' names, first name, last name, and their email. If they don't have an email, create a unique one for them like we do. This way, it's really just a placeholder so that the software recognizes that, hey, it's a person. Without an email, they won't really have an ID or user ID. Scroll through. Let's say we want mom and dad, or mom and grandpa, dad and grandma, either way. Whoever else is a responsible party for the account and wants to be included on the updates, you put their first name, their last name, and then, of course, email address. If mom and dad share email addresses, or there's a communal family email address, you could put, Andrea and Anthony. And that's fine because it'll just recognize Andrea and Anthony. All right, you're going to put their addresses, any suite or apartment numbers afterwards. Some of you may ask, okay, well, why does it need the addresses? The reason being is that when you have hundreds, sometimes thousands of students, you need to differentiate between John Smith, who's 5 years old taking piano, and John Smith, who's 50 years old taking guitar. That's what this does. It's all these different variables that the computer will use to figure, okay, are they related? Are they in the same household? That's why with our fake students, Sean and Susan, right there, it's showing the same parent's address. It's showing the same address right here so that they know, okay, it's going to the same family account. Phone numbers. Don't have to worry about particular formats. It just pulls it right as you see it. If they don't have all of these phones, just put whichever one works best for you. Birthdays. Okay. You need to make sure that they are in this format, month, day, year. This way the computer will recognize it. If you don't put a year, it'll confuse it. Again, it's looking for a particular number or number of characters, and that's what it's looking for. You can use 4 digits for the year. It doesn't matter. Male, female, male, it is looking for that. Otherwise, we do have some names that are not really gender specific, such as Taylor, Hunter, Janie. There's so many different names that could go other ways, so that's why it's there to help differentiate who's who. So that's what it should look like. Now, what we found worked really best for the Columbia Arts Academy and Lexington School of Music, we did it actually in sections. So I had my A students that I uploaded because then I could go back and double check all the A's are correct. Wonderful. Then I would do my B's. Then I would do my C's, so on and so forth. Or you could do it by teacher. Do all of John Guitar Smith's teacher students, and that works well too. Basically, if it's over 100 students uploaded at a time through Excel, it does tend to slow down the upload. So we're thinking that this is the best bet to do it in smaller chunks. Doesn't have to be 3 like I did here. This is really just to show you guys an example of what it looks like. So that's that. All right. And then you go to add multiple students Excel. Choose your file. All right. And click Save. There we go. That's how it's done, folks. Users, and there you go. Now you will see that Sean Doe had his guitar but not his drums. Reason being, Jason drum teacher was not created. That's why. Since that teacher was not created, he's not attached to Sean Doe. That's why. Teachers first, folks. That's why we do it. All right. Hope this helps. As always, let me know if you have any questions.